Hello, my name is David Mullen. First, I have to apologize in advance. I don't have a great way to do this recording, just given my situation. So there's pretty bad glare on the screen, and my slides show up backwards because of the orientation of the camera. But we just have to make do with what we have. Today, I'm going to be doing a presentation on the Mindful Leader: 7 Practices for Transforming Your Leadership, Your Organization, and Your Life by Michael Bunting. Today I'll be doing an author bio. I'll tell you about his thesis for his book, his 7 practices for mindful leadership. I'll show you the leadership model that I developed based on his book. I'll talk about the scientific validity of his book, and we'll conclude the presentation. Michael Bunting is an Australian. He has a leadership consultancy that he founded. He's authored and co-authored a number of books on leadership, and he's a leadership consultant to major Fortune 500 companies. His thesis states, the equation is simple. Highly engaged organizations are more profitable and effective. The key to improving your organization's engagement is your leadership behavior. And mindfulness, the practical application of self-awareness, is the most effective method for recognizing and improving your behavior. To get a little further into his thesis, he defines mindfulness as deliberately cultivating a state of wellness and being a beacon of goodness, responsive, and clarity, even in the toughest circumstances. His first practice of the 7 practices of mindfulness is be here now. He says there's a mindfulness of body and senses, so kind of understanding where you are as a vessel. Mindfulness of feeling, understanding how you're feeling, how you're reacting, your emotions. Mindfulness of thoughts, just understanding how you're reacting within your own head. And mindfulness of making meaning, which is basically how we understand all these different senses. His second practice is a 200% accountability. What he says is that you have to have 100% accountability from the leader and 100% accountability from your employees. The leader can't be 100% accountable and the employee is 100% accountable. It requires both to be 100% accountable to be successful. His third practice is lead from mindful values, which means draw your values from integrity, be able to communicate your mindful values, and be able to demonstrate them in action. His fourth practice is inspire a mindful vision with your employees. So that entails having a business conscience. So coming from a place of morality and being able to walk the talk. So if you're talking about morality in your business, show your employees that that's important, and your employees will respond positively. Practice 5 involves cultivating a beginner's mind. So he says that we need to be able to explore and discover, accept risk as an opportunity, and avoid preconceptions, expectations, and judgments and prejudices. So being able to basically start over from the beginning and understand, your different concepts from a completely new perspective is important, and not being afraid of that. Practice 6 is to empower others to shine. So cultivating generosity towards others, seeing the worthiness of others, and empowering your employees through positivity. So basically being able to look at your employees and see somebody who's empowered and worthy, and they will respond to that and really step up. Finally, practice 7 is transforming for the good. So you have to be able to embrace the change. If there's a level of discomfort in your leadership, then you're probably making progress, because that's usually if you're uncomfortable, then that's usually a block. You need to be able to overcome that to be a successful leader. Mindfulness and compassion takes time. So just being able to improve a little bit every day, and you'll eventually get there and be a good leader. So his leadership model, the foundation is basically the 7 practices: the mindfulness of thought, the mindfulness of feeling, the mindfulness of tone. Those build the foundation, and from there You want to define your organizational values once you've actually built that core leadership. Define your organizational values, communicate your values in action, solicit feedback and develop measurable goals, self-evaluation and reevaluation of yourself and your employees, and then basically repeat until you're successful. The scientific rigor, I gave him a 3 out of 5. He does a good job of citing studies. In his book, he doesn't actually perform any studies himself, contribute to the knowledge of the community, but I thought he did a pretty good job trying to actually cite studies and do a good job. So that was The Mindful Leader by Michael Bunting. Thank you for your time, and I apologize again for the quality of the presentation video.